Welcome to day 201, Becoming Peace Meditation and Inspiration. The name of today's session is, But I Love It, God. How many times do you think you know what's best for yourself, only to have God step in with some tutoring? That's what we're talking about today. Sometimes He moves our cheese. Sometimes we wonder why our prayers aren't answered the way we think they should be. Sometimes we get that medical diagnosis and it's not what we want to hear. And every single time, God understands what He gives us and what He takes away. It's called faith. And speaking of faith, join us today for this few minutes of a faith-based rest stop. It's where we get to rest for a while without having to feel obligated to hold onto our favorite weighty backpack. So settle in and sit with your back supported and your head free. Make sure your feet are resting comfortably on the floor and your hands are in your lap. Let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths while we are getting ready to put our bodies in down tempo mode. And out. And again, close your eyes and get yourself comfortable. So I saw this meme on social media a few weeks ago, and I haven't been able to get it out of my mind. You know the one where Jesus says, "Trust me." He's got a surprise behind his back. And we say, "But I love it, God. I can't let it go." A little tiny stuffed animal. What He has in store for us is usually very much more significant than what we have to sacrifice and let go. Well, my memory went back to the countless times I've been prompted or gently instructed and guided by the Spirit to move in a certain direction or get rid of a not so desirable habit. I knew what I should do. I prayed for knowledge and guidance and did get an answer, but my mind wasn't ready to follow the messages my heart was receiving. I'll admit it. Obstinate is a good word to describe my lack of surrender sometimes. How about you? What's your story? Sometimes I would try to talk myself into my own frame of mind and thinking, even after I knew deep down the road I was on, I was headed for disaster, just because I loved it, whatever it happened to be that week. Sometimes it's very difficult to fully lay down your wants and desires. Sacrifice those things we hold on to tightly and be willing to blindly move to a place of eager trust with what God has in store for us, because we just think we know better. Have you ever experienced this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is this resonating with you at any level? can look back over my life and realize that every time I held on to my treasure instead of sacrificing it for what I knew God wanted me to do, it always, most always, ended very painfully. This has reoccurred over my life at least several hundred times. Sometimes our hearts are just too stubborn to set our ego down and know that the Creator of the universe has a wider lens He looks through. Sometimes challenges and controversy are for our own gain, yet we don't see that from the short view. What are the things you're holding on to that you know deep inside yourself you should let go? Is it the need to be right? Is it the food you've been eating lately? That Snickers bar? Or is it something more difficult, like letting go of a relationship? Cleansing always happens first. Then comes the blessings. In other words, God cannot plant a garden in a field of weeds. Sometimes He asks us to cut the weeds down, till the ground, and fertilize the soil, and wait in order to get ready for what He desires to plant in our lives. He can't do His work unless we are willing to do ours first. So what needs to be cleared away in your life, in your physical surroundings, and inside your mind and your heart? This is what we're holding space for today. Enjoy your pondering time while I mind the time, and you'll hear a soft bell when it's time to come back. come back now. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time. And as you continue breathing deeply, wiggle your fingers and toes and shake out your limbs. Prepare to come back to the present, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Peace comes when I trust God in His blessings. I know it can be very difficult to give up something that you've worked so hard for, that you're tightly clenching and holding close to your heart, when you don't really understand, especially when you've been asked to give a loved one back to Him with death, or when something that you've worked so hard for falls through, or you don't get the job offer that you thought that you wanted and needed. Just trust His timing. Trust His blessings. Trust that how things are right now are how they are supposed to be right now. It doesn't mean that they can't change in the next minute or the next hour or day or month or year. But just trust His timing. You'll find peace there. I hope you've enjoyed today's session, and please feel free to share it with a loved one. Thank you for joining me today. And I encourage you to, any way possible, with food, books, media, people, anything in your life, take in more light today. Choose the light option today. A little more than you did yesterday. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be here. Goodbye for now.